Hello, hi, and welcome to Cricket Talk with Venky. Venky, namaskara.
Namaskara. Thank you very much, Smurti.
What a game India played, the first ODI. The people who were supposed to prove, like KL Rahul, Shikhar Dhawan, they came to party. Then the debutants created record on their debut. Kunal Pandya scored the fastest 50 in ODIs. And Prasid Krishna took the best figures, bowling figures for an Indian fast bowler on debut in ODIs.
Yeah, it's amazing. Obviously, when we spoke just before the one day international started, Srinivas Murthy, that we were we were of the opinion that the momentum has clearly shifted in favor of India after the Test series win and T20 internationals win. Especially after T20 internationals win, the momentum changed and clearly, we were sort of had the advantage. We had gelled well as a team, and we had seen in T20 internationals, especially, we had seen some very good performances from the youngsters and debutants like Ishan Kishan or Surya Kumar Yadav and so on. So obviously that must have rubbed on the other guys as well who are coming in into the team, and which we clearly saw when it comes to Krunal Pandya and Prasid Krishna. Of course, Krunal Pandya came at a very interesting stage of the game when Indian team had lost, say, about 4 or 5 wickets, and they had to, and they were in control, but then they had to score those runs, right? And I think that's that, and KL Rahul was struggling at that time, and that's when I think he came and eased the pressure on Rahul, and I think it was a wonderful knock. And coming and playing this first one day, Krunal Pandya and Prasid Krishna, both of them are obviously making their debut, did a wonderful job and scoring the fastest 50 and having the best figures for an Indian in the very first international, one-day internationals is something very, very good.
205 for 5, India were at 40.3 overs when Kunal Pandya walked into bat. Venky, you rightly pointed out, he and KL Rahul scored more than 100 runs in the remaining 9.3 overs to take India to a very respectable total. Why we are telling respectable total? Because Pune ground, we have seen the records. India chasing down 350 plus against England itself. So it's a very good batting wicket. And England opener showed how good the wicket. Venky, they were about 135 for Nolas in about 14 hours.
Absolutely. I think Shikhar Dhawan played an outstanding knock. He was under pressure, having not scored runs in the T20 internationals and also being dropped from playing 11. So he was under tremendous pressure, and that's what actually class players shows. They show character, and they know how to bounce back from pressure, how to come out of it, and played a brilliant innings. It's very disappointing and unfortunate that he missed out on his 100, too short of his 100. But then that's how the game is all about. That's what cricket is all about. So, but definitely he would be very happy with the score what he had. You mentioned about the Pune pitch. It is a fantastic track to bat, and 317. What they scored eventually was also chaseable, looking at the England batting depth. But nevertheless, from where they were to what they achieved later on, it's just really amazing.
Prasid Krishna went for 37 runs in 3 overs, and every Indian bowler was getting it. Venky, that day, if you see, Shardul Thakur considered 20 runs in 2 overs. Kunal Pandya considered more than 20 runs. Only Bhuvneshwar Kumar was very good, very economical, in fact. But India were unable to break the opening partnership of Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow. At that juncture, I would say about 15th over, Virat Kohli showed confidence in his debutant and gave him the ball, and he gave the breakthrough, in fact.
Yeah, look, any game, I think how you can put pressure on the opposition, how you can build pressure, how you can sort of bring down the run rate is only by getting wickets, right? So you need those breakthroughs. In fact, if you look at the Indian batting, you mentioned they were 205 for 5 at the end of 40 overs or something like that. So that shows the moment you lose a wicket, the run rate comes down, and that's what breakthroughs do. And the moment you have a breakthrough, when there's a partnership growing, and when you get a wicket, so we also keep saying one brings two. So a new batsman comes in, he takes time to adjust to the conditions, and it's not easy for him to score runs. So he will be under pressure. So there's another chance of getting another wicket as well. So that's why it's very important to get those breakthroughs, and that's what the bowlers did. With Krunal Pandya or the other bowlers. Yes, as we said, the pitch was a beauty to bat, and it was a very, very good not T20. I mean, it's a very good one-day pitch. So there were a lot of runs, value for money for the viewers watching the game. Of course, there was no spectators. Having said that, it was a chaseable score, but then you had to. I mean, you would go for runs on a flat track because the game has evolved over the years. So 280, which we used to consider as a good score, now 320 is also not so safe. So in that sense, the bowlers did go for runs on a flat track, but then you have to get back. You have to pull it back by getting wickets, and that's what they did.
Canara Bank. Together we can.
Venky, there is a lot of similarities between the first ODI between India England and the 1996 quarterfinals match at Bangalore. If you see, India batted first there also. Navjot Singh Sidhu scored, let's say, close to 100. He was the man of the match. And Pakistan started the chase, if you remember, just like how Johnny Bairstow and Jason Roy did. You provided the breakthrough from Karnataka, you represented. Then Prasidh Krishna gave breakthrough here, if you observe. And then the opponents folded up ultimately, and India ended up winning. I mentioned this in commentary also. In fact, there was a lot of similarities between these two games.
That was wonderful to give this sort of comparison. It feels good actually, and more or less, I would say. Now going back to what happened in '96 during the quarterfinals, it was a World Cup against Pakistan, that was, and of course coming to this game. Yes, I think you're right in terms of similarities. Of course, the score was say about 40 runs short, maybe, but still, as I was saying, 280 was considered a big score in those days in '96 and late '90s, and now 320 is also not so safe. So even that could be changed. So you have to, you have to get those breakthroughs. You have to keep getting those wickets at regular intervals. Even if you don't get wickets at regular intervals, you have to bowl those dot balls. And on a pitch that is, which is fantastic to bat on, where the ball is coming on, that bounces through to play your shots, that puts more pressure on the bowlers to bowl those dot balls or to get those wickets. So you have to keep on looking for those wickets. You have to be positive in your mindset. You have to, you have to find ways of getting a wicket. Make some changes in your field placement. Make changes in your variations, and so on. So you've got to expect that you're going to go for runs, but you also have to stay positive. Just a matter of one wicket, those sort of mindset one has to be, and not just one player, it's everybody. So I think eventually when you do that, when you get those breakthroughs, and when you start getting wickets at regular intervals later on, you obviously put pressure on the opposition. That's what the Indians did here.
Venky, during the course of the first ODI, if you observe, both the teams had some injuries. On India side, we had Rohit Sharma hit on his elbow. He didn't come to field. Then Shreyas Iyer has dislocated his shoulder, so he's undergoing surgery. He won't be available for the series, is what the news says. So what are the changes that you are seeing for the second ODI from India's perspective?
Well, look, Srinivas Murthy, the bench strength is really, really good. If it's sad that that Shreyas Iyer is going through a surgery, and if he's going through a surgery, then I'm telling you, he's not going to not just for this one days or this series, he might miss the IPL also. It's not easy when you're going through a surgery. it takes minimum 3 months to recover from surgery, 3 months to 6 months. So it's not going to be easy. So it's sad actually when a player goes through an injury and when somebody is in the peak of form and peak of his career. But having said that, I'm not very sure how serious is Rohit Sharma's injury. I'm sure if he's not going to play the next match, I'm sure he would be fit for the third one internationals. And now the bench strength we're talking about, it is really, really good. They're as good as any other batsman. So, and they've all have got some game time, some match time. So in that sense, it's not that again there'll be a debutant or something like that. So they've played some format or the other. So in that sense, they're very much understand and they know what the team is expecting of them. So I'm sure no matter who replaces whether Rohit Sharma or Shreyas Iyer, they're very much confident and the whole atmosphere within the team, I'm sure it's so positive. And as I said, the momentum is so much in favor of the Indian team. So everybody would like to be a part of the playing 11 and would like to contribute, to the side and for a winning cause.
I don't see any opener there in the reserve. So would you be promoting KL Rahul to open with Shikhar Dhawan in case Rohit is not available, and then bring Surya Kumar Yadav in the middle order and also add Rishabh Pant in place of Shreyas Iyer?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly my point. Yeah, I mean, see, there are players who can fit into different positions. So, of course, KL played at number 3, I suppose, or 4, I think. 4, yeah. So, I mean, he's also been an opener, whether it's test matches or whether it's T20s. So, I mean, he knows what is required of him. So, I think he's his best person suited for the opening start if Rohit Sharma is not playing in the 11. And along with Shikhar Dhawan, who's in very good form. Then comes Virat Kohli and of course Surya Kumar Yadav and Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya. Krunal Pandya is also doing very well. So there's a good depth in batting and people replacing the injured players. So they've had some match time, they've had some game time. They are also in form. So that should not matter much. And in fact, it's not just about the Indian team which is struggling with players with injuries. It's also an English team. I think there is some doubt whether the captain is going to play or not from England side or in
Morgan, then there is Sam Billings, who also injured his shoulder while fielding. But again, England doesn't have this kind of cushion. And in the previous program, Venky, you had predicted a 3-0 win for India in this series. And India is already set to achieve that course by winning the first ODI. Thank you very much, Venky.
Thank you very much, Srinivas Murthy.
And we are hopeful that they'll continue this domination in the second ODI, which is happening on 26th, again at the same venue at Pune. And we hope that India win this game and seal the series on 26th itself by winning it 2-0. Thank you very much for watching Canara Bank YouTube channel. Keep watching us.